been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons for a few weeks now. It's an amazing game, but there are a number of things that can be improved. In this video, we will be discussing several things that could be improved to make Animal Crossing New Horizons a better experience. The first thing that we think should be improved is granting the ability to craft multiple items. I just think in the game that often when you're crafting, you want to craft more things, especially like when Timmy and Tommy have a item of the day that they're selling for double. To have to keep on crafting that item over and over again is counterproductive. And it's just in a lot of situations in the game where you should be able to craft more items at a time.
Like with bait, it's really annoying to all have the clams and then have to keep on pressing A to craft it when you need a bunch of it. Especially with the fishing tourney, it would have been easier if I was able to just, how many do you want to craft, and then you craft that many.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to implement that too. Like all they have to do is just like have like a drop down menu that appears when you select the item, and then you just choose however many you want to do. And like they've already done this before. Like you can craft or put in the max amount of bells in the bank. Like they can just add that.
Yeah.
Same thing like when you're buying turnips from Daisy Marie. He says that you can
Daisy May,
Daisy Marie, same thing. when you're buying items from her, you can just it's the option to use all of your bells, so to buy the maximum. And I think that also extends it to other things in the game, like just when you have multiple and you want to eat one food or you want to lose a certain amount, but you can't get rid of that certain amount. It's one. It has to be an option so that you can more than one at a time.
They could even like add splitting it in half. Like you can have a stack of 10 in this, split it in half, like have 5 and 5.
Yeah.
There's like things like that. And that also goes into like the storage system as well, where with the clams that you mentioned, they all take up their own separate spot in your storage. But they could definitely just like stack it instead. You can have like way more space.
The next option would be an auto drop for fish and bugs. Especially during this previous Bunny Day event, you really wanted to have the ability to drop the eggs that you're catching in the water, or just fish that you don't want, bugs that you don't want. Sometimes you come across things that you don't want, and it doesn't make sense that your inventory gets full, and then you're like, I need to swap this or keep it. When any item that you pick up, you should be able to just drop right there.
It's okay, you can say sea bass.
It's too many of those things.
Yes.
For no reason.
But it's just a lot of things. Like, if I'm fishing, I'm not trying to catch rocks. So if I get a stone, I'm like, I don't want that. I want to drop that.
Yeah.
And then again, during the Bunny Day event, which thank God is over.
Thank God.
I mean, but the eggs, I don't want those eggs. I've caught like 3 days and I already had enough eggs to craft everything. And then when the bunny came back, I still had enough eggs to craft the few things that he brought to the island at that point. You should be able to drop those items.
That whole thing kind of just felt bad. The reward for crafting items was crafting more items.
Yeah.
Like, and none of the items that he gave you to craft were even like ones that I would want to use on my island.
Oh.
And plus, like once the event is done, then like the whole festivities of the egg items are just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not to make this into a Bunny Day video, but jeez. Was there anything that you wanted to keep when you were done with the event?
I sold everything.
I haven't sold them yet, but nothing was like interesting. It was like, oh, this can go on my house. And the only reason why I do have something in my house at the moment because for some reason I lost my dresser, so I'm using a Bunny Day dresser until I craft a new one. But as soon as I craft a new one, that's going out.
Yeah.
The only thing that was kind of cute was the dress, but the clothes were ugly. The wall was ugly. Everything was pretty ugly, and the wand wasn't. I don't think it's worth it because I already have a bunch of other wands.
Yeah, and also like the only thing I kept was the balloons. Like I feel like that's
those
kind of like
those
a
are
nice
fine.
solution.
Yeah, those are fine.
And like I still have that like wall hanging thing in my house, but I'm probably gonna get rid of that because I have enough. So.
Oh, I forgot I had that. I have it in my house too.
There's like some things, but like overall, it didn't really feel worth it.
No.
It just like took away from like a lot of like the regular things that you would do, because like it just felt really bad to go fishing, felt bad to like cut down trees.
Mm-hmm.
It was just too much.
It made the mystery island so annoying too.
Yes, it really.
Yeah.
The next thing that we think should be improved is better implementation of the storage system, the outside storage, backpack storage, and item storage. There has to be a way to make it more.
Fine tuned.
Oh yeah, fine tuning is. It just needs to be done. The whole crafting mechanic, especially when you're doing your chores on the island and you break an item, and you're like, I gotta go all the way back to my house if I don't have these items in my inventory. That makes no sense. If you have the items in your storage in the house, be able to access it. At least, I mean, I understand not being able to access it when you're walking around the island, but when you go to the crafting table, you should be able to access everything that you have.
I agree.
And that would even be fine if they made it so you just have to be like in a certain radius of your house. But if you have a crafting bench nearby, you can just like bring what's in your storage out, and then vice versa also. Like what you craft can also be just instantly put into storage.
Right.
I feel like that would just make it way better.
That, and then they allow you to wear backpacks, but then the backpacks are really just cosmetic. I think that when you're wearing a backpack, that should give you more inventory slots, and that would be a way to bypass needing to go back to your house.
And also, I think that your tools shouldn't be in your pockets, especially after you buy the tool ring. It's kind of like having the wand. Those clothes don't show up in your pockets, so why do the tools show up and take all that space?
It's counterproductive.
That's something that they could add. Like, if the what's it called, the island designer,
Mm-hmm.
you could put like the shovel, the axe, just like something like that into the island designer basically, and then when you go to edit, you can just bring those out. Like, granted, like there's like some problems with that, like finding fossils, like doing the treasure hunt, but like it could just like be like a half and half type of thing.
The next one would be the ability to eat multiple fruit. When you're trying to move stuff around the island, you have to eat. So if you want to move your trees, you have to eat. And you can only eat one at a time. And not only can you only eat one at a time, when you try to eat the second one, the first option is to drop the fruit instead of to eat the next fruit. So again, it's something that's really counterproductive. If you're trying to eat a bunch of fruit that you can move a bunch of trees around, you're gonna most likely drop the fruit. You're gonna eat one, you're gonna drop it. And it's just counterproductive. You should be able to make a selection. I want to eat this many fruit. And that's it. It'll make it easier to do things. And that's all I want is ease of use. These are like quality of life improvements.
Just the whole process is tedious and it shouldn't have to be like that.
The next thing that we think should be improved is a better implementation of the island infrastructure. Waiting a day for things to be moved, for bridges to be constructed, and stuff like that is really inconvenient, especially when you are able to terraform, because if you want to move multiple things, it's going to take you a long time. And most of us, when we were constructing our islands, we weren't thinking that we wanted the island to look a certain way. So we put houses anywhere. Or, I mean, we put them places that we thought fit with the island at that point. But once you get the ability to terraform, you're more than likely going to move things around. You're more than likely going to upgrade that bridge that you put in first because the first bridge is kind of trash and stuff like that. And have to wait a full day for that to occur and to only be able to do one at a time is inconvenient.
And I know it's probably for the sake of realism as well. Like, obviously those things take time. But like, for a game where you want to be able to like make it look how you want it to and like when you want it to be, like having that just setback really does not feel good. Like, you want to be able to do it as fast as possible and be able to like have your ideas when you finally get them and just like put it into your island. Like, having to wait all that time for each and everything just doesn't feel right.
It makes you want to time travel. And if you're the type of person that doesn't want to time travel at all and wants to do everything naturally, it's like, I gotta wait this long for this to happen. But not only do you have to pay off the thing, but you have to wait for it to be constructed. And again, if you want to move several houses, that's gonna take several days. Right now, that's what I want to do. I want to move some of my characters. I'm like, should I? So I've been holding off on it because I don't want to wait for one person to be moved, then have to wait to move somebody else to get where I'm trying to get.
And that was also the thing about moving houses. If you want to like move it like a couple of units forward or back, it takes up the space. So like you can't actually like move that house over just a couple units. You have to like actually bring it to another spot entirely and then move it again, which takes 2 more days, and you have to pay even more money. It shouldn't take up more than one plot. Like it should just like either automatically move or the house is just well, they can't like remove the house entirely because like where are they gonna stay?
Exactly.
Like there just has to be like a way for them to like either like they can like go back to the tent, maybe like have them stay at a campsite, like maybe
That's a good
because like
idea.
after you get your 10 villagers, nobody shows up at the campsite, right?
Nope.
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
like if you want to move your villager's house, then they can go there and then just have that plot be there instead of the house.
Well, it could be like that gift that Rosie put. Why can't you just push the house?
Oh.
Honestly.
The next one is too many events at once.
Yes, I'm so annoyed. Why did they have the Cherry Blossom Festival and Bunny Day at the same time? And the Cherry Blossom Festival ended before Bunny Day, so we barely got to get all the recipes. People barely got to get all the petals for the stuff. And then Bunny Day lasted so long. I think I had all the eggs for it, like within the first few days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was able to craft everything immediately. Like in the when Bunny Day occurred, like I just crafted everything and then I was like, that's it.
Yeah, that makes
But like
no sense.
I was searching for the cherry blossom stuff for a long time. Like I got it on the last day.
At least you got it because I didn't get all of the cherry blossom things. And then on top of it, you also had the fishing tourney during the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing the fishing tourney and you're catching eggs still.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even bother because like I just couldn't. If I saw a single egg while I was fishing, I would just stop playing the game.
Yes, I've noticed that your play has slowed down since Bunny Day. And is that why?
Oh yeah, entirely. I just like I loved fishing, and I had CT on my island at that time, and like I just couldn't. It just feels like such a waste of time, and then like selling the eggs doesn't feel worth it. Crafting the items doesn't feel worth it, even though you get more bells. But like, yeah,
It was just really annoying and inconvenient, and I couldn't even enjoy the cherry blossoms, especially now they're gone.
yeah.
And then they didn't really explain that it was a separate cherry blossom event.
Mm-hmm.
So most people didn't know. They thought that the cherry blossoms were part of the Bunny Day event. So hopefully next year they separate the two, and hopefully they learn from this so that any upcoming events don't cross over like that.
It was too much all at once.
Especially for like the first events.
Yes.
Yeah, like leading up to this, everything was like very
Yes.
relaxing and like properly paced. But then you have all of these like recipes that you're getting that you have to craft until like what, like a week and a half, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
And people were really enjoying the game early on, and I saw a lot of dissent online when Bunny Day started. It did
Mhm.
slow down a lot of people's play.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course it did, because as much as I enjoyed it and I still powered through, going to Mystery Islands and fishing, and you're catching like 15 eggs
Yeah.
by the time you leave the island. And that's
Mhm.
like, and it's sometimes more. Like, it's frustrating.
And also the duplicates of the recipes that you would get from the
Yeah.
Oh my
balloons and
gosh.
that wash up on the beach.
Yes.
Oh, don't even mention the balloons, because I was hearing that sound in my head
Yes.
when I wasn't playing the game. There were so many.
You have no idea how relieved I was when I first played, and like the first balloon that passes by is a red one and not.
I
the
know,
rainbow
right?
one.
I was so happy this morning. So happy. It was amazing.
The next thing that we think would be a big improvement is multiplayer on Mystery Islands. I think it would be cool. It's just something that would make multiplayer a little more fun, even though I've enjoyed multiplayer. But being able to go to one of the Mystery Islands with somebody would be a lot of fun. I mean, you could do things, who can catch the most fish here, or something like that. From the first few times that I went to a Mystery Island, I was like, it would be really cool to have a friend here with me.
If I'm not mistaken, is it New Leaf?
Yeah.
You were able to go to islands. Was it just one island or different islands? I don't remember. But you were able to go to islands with other people, and I think there was like games to play too. So that would be really cool if they had something like that where you can go to islands and um play do some mini games or something with your friends. That would be really fun.
They could just like make multiplayer islands specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, you can do like the mystery islands, but those can be like kind of small and not very accommodating for like multiple people. But if they did like specific multiplayer islands, they can have like games where you can like play your own games.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing would be a better, more defined Critterpedia. I think that they should add the flowers and the fossils. I want to know the fossils that I found. I mean, you can find them out if you're saving your fossils, but if you're not saving them, then you're not really know. You don't really know what you've donated to Blathers. So I would like to be able to catalog the fossils. I would like to be able to catalog the flowers, especially since there's a bunch of flower types, and then you have the hybrid flowers. So I think that maybe it doesn't have to be a part of the Critterpedia, but there should be something to catalog those things. Also, in previous Animal Crossing, they showed you the size of the catches, and don't have that in this one. And I think that would just be it'd be cool, especially since you're catching a bunch of the same thing, especially stupid bass. At least it'd be like, oh, this is a massive bass.
Also, since Blathers, when you donate something, Blathers usually tells you about it or you ignore it and whatever. But I would like for that to be after you donate something in your Critterpedia, there should be like a description of what it is, like what Blathers tells you. Because when you go in the museum and you look at the little, I guess, like plaques, it tells you what it is, but it doesn't give you a description.
And you have to like catch the thing all over again, just like he can give you the description.
Yeah.
The next thing that we think would be an improvement is a beach editor, because once you unlock the terraforming, you can't edit the beach. And I didn't know this. Or didn't let us know about it. I think that you should be able to either make your beaches larger or you should be able to make them smaller. The fact that you can edit basically the rest of the island, but the beach you can't change, that's not appealing.
And especially because like I feel like the beach is a pretty big part of like the appeal of your island, and you can put things on it, but you can't change it at all. Even though there's like a section for sanding in the terraforming, like I don't understand why you can't just like connect the beaches that's like on the side or anything like that. Like, it's
I would also like to be able to move rocks, because some of them are fine, some of them are kind of annoying and get in the way. And also like I've had presents drop on rocks and like phase through it, and so I would like to move them.
Another thing that we think would be a big improvement is being able to do multiple purchases at the Able Sister shop. I love Able Sister shop, especially when you go into the dressing room with all of those amazing clothes. And the fact that you can only basically pick out one outfit, you gotta leave and come back to buy another outfit. That's frustrating.
It is, because I always go in multiple times, and then why I don't understand, if you can pick multiple things, why can't you just pick different shirts? What, you don't have to. I guess you can. There should be like a try it on button if you want to try on a full outfit, but you should just be able to pick what you want and buy it.
But again, it's a very tedious process of having to go back in after you buy whatever you wanted to buy and then purchase like basically the same thing. Since there's like different colors of that same outfit that you might want to purchase.
Like the first time I went in, I thought I was adding a bunch of stuff to my cart, and then it was one outfit. But I was like clicking on everything. Oh, this looks good. This looks good. And then it's one outfit.
Yeah. The same could be said for Nook's Cranny, because if you're in there and you're buying in the cabinet thing and you want to buy multiple things like multiple flowers or something, I mean, at least they have the option for you to buy was it a bunch?
Yeah.
Which is nice, but I would also like, I buy a lot of the wallpapers and stuff, so why can't I just click on all the ones I want and then...
The last thing that we would like is unbreakable items. To find out that the gold items still break is frustrating. And I loved item degradation in Zelda, but that's because it made you use the items more. It made you use other items. In Animal Crossing, You're not trying to use other items. Once you get that item, that's the item that you want to use. When you get up to a gold item, and the fact that the gold items still break, that makes no sense to me. Why do I have to keep on crafting items if I made it to the point where I unlocked the gold item?
And especially because the way to get the gold items is by breaking that type of equipment. Like, it literally just like feels like they're mocking you by having you break all these things to get to the next thing, only for it to break eventually too.
Exactly.
I mean, if they don't want unbreakable items, I wish that they would at least there was some way to tell when your item is about to break. Like I think in the old games, didn't the axe look like it was gonna break?
Yeah, I think so. I think it cracked a little bit.
Yeah, so if there was some way that they could just show oh, it's a little beat up now, or there can be a little window that says there's a few uses left or something.
Yeah, then you could go and customize it, and that would get it back to at least a fresh point, and you wouldn't have to be in the middle of something and it breaks, and then you got to go and run to a DIY table to craft something, and sometimes you're not gonna have the items to craft it, so that just it gets frustrating when I'm on a mystery island and things break, and then I either have to rent an item, or I have to start farming for resources on that island to make the item. That's frustrating. The gold items shouldn't break, and the items that you have should have an indicator of what level of degradation it is.
There's something that you can kind of do that's sort of a refresh point for
the customization.
Yeah, or you can use a flimsy fishing rod a couple times. You can memorize how many times you can use it until it breaks, and then wait and then make the full thing, the fishing rod, and you can use it there. After that, then what do you do?
Yeah, they should have perfect items. Maybe just flimsy, good, great, and then perfect.
Gold should not be breakable.
Yeah.
You have to craft the gold items, right?
Yeah.
So you have to use a gold nugget on that as well?
And those are pretty rare. We don't even know how many it'll take to make it.
Exactly. Makes no sense. But otherwise, we really do enjoy the game. It's a really fun game. We just think that these things will make it a better game and a more fun game. No game is perfect. I mean, again, this is my favorite Animal Crossing by far, but these things can make it even better, and it can make it more fun for the player base. If y'all want to see more content like this, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe, follow us on our socials down in the description. This is We Play So Much, and we're out.
Later.